Lexus has built its entire reputation on one simple promise: engineering that lasts, wrapped in enough comfort and quiet luxury that you never have to think about the mechanical side of ownership. That reputation isn't just marketing either. RepairPal rated Lexus 4.0 out of 5.0 across an average of 345 unique models, ranking it 7th among 32 car brands, and Consumer Reports has consistently placed Lexus among the top 3 most reliable manufacturers on the market. But not every Lexus in the current lineup earns its keep equally. Some models genuinely deserve the hype, others are riding on the brand name alone. Stick around, because the model in first place isn't the newest or flashiest thing Lexus builds, and the reason it topped this list will change how you think about new. In 10th place, it's the Lexus LC500. Available as both a coupe and a convertible, the LC is powered by a 471 horsepower V8 built at the Motomachi plant in Japan, a facility long associated with some of Lexus's most meticulously hand-finished vehicles. What most people don't realize is that compared to German rivals like the Mercedes-AMG SL Class or the BMW 8 Series, the LC won't feel as sporty or as sharp on a winding canyon road, and that comparison, while technically true on paper, is genuinely missing the entire point of why this car exists in the first place. Instead of chasing spec sheet numbers purely to win a magazine comparison test against faster, more track-focused rivals, the LC is built entirely around appealing to the senses in a way lap times simply can't capture. Its luxurious interior, elegant design language, and genuinely intoxicating V8 soundtrack are exactly why buyers fall for this car the moment they hear it start up, long before they've even pulled out of the dealership lot. Here's the twist worth sitting with for a moment. This isn't a car you buy purely for reliability data or careful resale value calculations spread across a spreadsheet. It's the one Lexus model on this entire list that exists purely for the experience of owning it day to day, and that's precisely why it still earns a spot here despite sitting at the bottom of this particular countdown rather than being excluded outright. If you're shopping with your head, several other vehicles further up this list make considerably more financial sense over a 5 or 10-year ownership window. If you're shopping with your heart just once in a while, though, this remains the one Lexus built specifically to reward that kind of decision without apology. If a halo car built almost entirely around feeling can still earn its spot here, wait until you see 9th place, where Lexus is betting on something completely different: the actual future direction of the entire brand. In 9th place, it's the Lexus RZ, offered in 2 distinct configurations as the RZ300e and RZ450e. This is Lexus's first dedicated electric SUV, built from the ground up on Toyota's eTNGA electric platform, and it combines genuinely futuristic exterior styling with the brand's trademark comfort and refinement carried through into an electric drivetrain for the first time. What most people don't realize is that the front-wheel drive RZ300e produces 200 horsepower and 196 pound-feet of torque, while the all-wheel drive RZ450e steps up meaningfully to 308 horsepower and 320 pound-feet, with real-world range varying between roughly 220 and 301 miles depending on the specific trim, wheel size, and drivetrain configuration a buyer ultimately chooses at the dealership. Inside the cabin, the RZ adopts a noticeably more minimalist design approach than traditional gas-powered Lexus models, stripping away some of the busier trim details in favor of a cleaner layout, while still delivering genuinely premium materials, ambient lighting, large infotainment screens, and excellent sound insulation that keeps the cabin remarkably quiet even at highway speed. The honest caveat worth stating plainly here is that the RZ is still relatively new to the market, and there simply isn't enough accumulated long-term ownership data yet to confidently assess exactly how it'll hold up over years of daily use, rather than just months of early reviews and initial impressions. Consumer Reports does predict above-average reliability for this platform based on early indicators, and Lexus's broader engineering reputation certainly gives the RZ a strong foundation to build on moving forward. But this remains genuinely a trust the brand's track record purchase, rather than a trust this specific model's proven history purchase at this particular point in its life cycle. Buyers comfortable with that distinction are generally rewarded with a genuinely refined electric ownership experience. This completely changes the conversation, because 8th place takes us from the newest, least proven model on this entire list to one of the most efficient, city-focused vehicles Lexus currently builds anywhere in its lineup. In 8th place, it's the Lexus UX 300h. This is the smallest and most fuel-efficient SUV in the entire Lexus lineup, and it's specifically well-suited to urban drivers who prioritize efficiency and easy maneuvering through tight city streets over outright cabin space or serious towing capability. What most people don't realize is that the UX focuses heavily on simplicity and smoothness over raw performance, with most US market models using a 2.0-liter hybrid powertrain, producing a combined 181 horsepower and 139 pound-feet of torque. Figures that admittedly sound modest sitting on a spec sheet next to larger SUVs, but translate directly into a genuinely relaxed, low-stress daily driving experience that many commuters actively prefer. From 2019 through 2026, the Lexus UX maintains an average reliability score of 80 out of 100, indicating a good reliability reputation according to independent long-term tracking data, with owners consistently reporting relatively few major issues beyond some electrical system and powertrain complaints scattered unevenly across specific model years rather than clustering into any single systemic problem. The UX also consistently earns a 5-star overall safety rating from NHTSA across its production run, making it a genuinely sound choice for drivers who prioritize safety and dependable, predictable ownership over raw capability, aggressive styling, or extra interior square footage they may not actually need. This is one of the most approachable options in the entire Lexus lineup today, making it a genuinely practical entry point for first-time Lexus shoppers who want the brand's characteristic comfort and reliability without stepping up into a larger, considerably pricier SUV that exceeds their actual daily needs. But it doesn't end here, because 7th place introduces the exact opposite kind of buyer entirely. In 7th place, it's the Lexus TX. This 3-row SUV seats up to 8 passengers, making it the single most practical choice in the entire Lexus lineup for larger families who've genuinely outgrown a standard 2-row midsize SUV and needed something with real 3rd-row capacity for kids, grandparents, or carpool duty. What most people don't realize is that the TX is still a relatively new addition to the broader lineup, covering just model years 2024 through 2026 so far in its short production history, but the actual trajectory of its reliability data tells a genuinely reassuring story for buyers who might otherwise be cautious about a newer nameplate. The TX carries an average reliability score of 81 out of 100 across its brief existence so far, and while common issues reported by early owners did include airbag and electrical system concerns showing up back in 2024, along with some air conditioner condenser failures surfacing in 2025 specifically, Lexus made significant, measurable improvements by the 2026 model year. That progress is reflected directly in a noticeable decrease in owner complaints filed, alongside just a single recall attached to the newest version currently on sale, a meaningful improvement over its first 2 model years combined. That kind of visible, year-over-year improvement is exactly what you want to see from a newer nameplate still working out early production kinks during its first couple of years on the market, rather than a repeating pattern of problems that simply persists without any real correction from the manufacturer. For families specifically cross-shopping the TX against 3-row rivals from other luxury brands, this improving trendline genuinely matters more than a single snapshot score taken in isolation, since it suggests Lexus is actively addressing the specific issues early TX owners flagged rather than quietly ignoring them and hoping complaints fade on their own. Get ready, because 6th place shifts away from family-focused SUVs entirely and back towards something Lexus has built its flagship reputation on for literal decades. In 6th place, it's the Lexus LS. This represents the absolute pinnacle of Lexus luxury, combining meticulous craftsmanship, genuine comfort, and advanced technology together in a true flagship sedan package built specifically to compete head-to-head with the Mercedes-Benz S-Class and BMW 7 Series in the most demanding segment of the luxury market. What most people don't realize is that the LS is powered by a 3.4-liter twin-turbocharged V6, producing 416 horsepower and 442 pound-feet of torque, delivering smooth, effortless performance without the added mechanical complexity that a larger V8 or V12 engine would introduce into a car already loaded with sophisticated technology throughout the cabin. Despite its genuine complexity and extensive feature set, Lexus's characteristically conservative engineering philosophy helps the LS maintain a notably stronger reputation for long-term durability compared to many of its European flagship rivals, which frequently draw criticism for expensive, complicated electronics and finicky air suspension systems as they age past the initial warranty period. That durability advantage matters enormously in this particular segment, where a European flagship sedan sitting out of warranty can rack up repair bills that genuinely rival a monthly car payment, while the LS tends to age far more gracefully and predictably from a mechanical standpoint. This is exactly the kind of trade-off that defines the entire Lexus philosophy across its whole lineup, accepting slightly less cutting-edge bragging rights on a spec sheet in exchange for genuinely lower ownership stress once the factory warranty eventually runs out and repair bills become the owner's own responsibility. But fifth place takes that same underlying philosophy and applies it somewhere considerably more rugged and demanding. In fifth place, it's the Lexus GX 550. Specifically in its overtrail trim configuration. The latest generation modernizes the brand's rugged SUV formula while still maintaining the body-on-frame construction that made previous generations of this nameplate so respected among genuine off-road enthusiasts over the years. What most people don't realize is that the GX is built on the GAF body-on-frame platform, shared directly with the current generation LX, using a strong, lightweight steel ladder frame specifically engineered to withstand the twisting forces of serious off-road driving while still keeping the cabin composed and comfortable during ordinary pavement commuting. Its bold exterior styling leans heavily into adventure-inspired design cues, while the interior blends genuine practicality with real luxury through modern infotainment systems and premium materials that don't feel remotely out of place next to more road-focused Lexus models sitting elsewhere in the lineup. Which is precisely why buyers who genuinely need real off-road capability keep coming back to this nameplate generation after generation rather than switching brands entirely. Covering model years 2018 through 2026 as a broader combined lineup, the GX demonstrates a strong reliability reputation with an average score of 80 out of 100, and while long-term ownership data is still somewhat limited specifically for this latest redesigned generation, its deep Toyota engineering roots strongly suggest it should remain one of the toughest, most dependable SUVs in its entire competitive segment for years to come, echoing the reputation earlier GX generations already earned. This is where it gets interesting, because fourth place moves us back toward comfort-focused sedans, and specifically the one that reliability data consistently singles out as a genuine favorite among owners. In fourth place, it's the Lexus ES. Known widely for its smooth ride and remarkably quiet cabin, the Lexus ES regularly earns high marks for reliability, making it a genuine favorite among drivers who want dependable luxury without any unnecessary drama, complexity, or maintenance headaches attached to daily ownership. What most people don't realize is that the ES, spanning model years 2018 through 2025, achieves an average reliability score of 83 out of 100, indicating excellent reliability by independent tracking standards, with its single best individual model year hitting an impressive 88 out of 100 during that stretch. Common issues reported by owners do include some problems with the fuel propulsion system, engine, and airbags, with notable occurrences clustering specifically in the 2019 and 2020 model years, so shoppers specifically considering a used ES from that particular window should factor those documented complaints into their research before committing to a purchase. Repair costs are rated as good on a 4 out of 5 scale according to independent tracking, making the ES a genuinely suitable option for buyers who are prioritizing long-term reliability. In third place, it's the Lexus NX. Covering model years 2018 through 2026, the NX maintains an average reliability score of 87 out of 100, indicating excellent reliability with a strong 4 out of 5 reliability rating from independent trackers, making it the single highest scoring SUV anywhere in the current Lexus lineup by a meaningful margin over every other model. What most people don't realize is that the NX also starts at a lower price point than any other Lexus SUV currently sold. For 2026 specifically, the NX gained an F Sport handling grade now available across every single powertrain option, including both hybrid and plug-in hybrid variants. A brand new premium grade added specifically to the NX 450h Plus plug-in hybrid lineup. This is a genuinely practical choice for individuals or small families who want authentic Lexus quality without stepping up into the larger, considerably pricier RX price range. And the reliability numbers here back up exactly why it's earned such a loyal, repeat buyer following over the years. Now here's where the list gets genuinely interesting, because second place is Lexus's actual best-selling model overall, and the reasoning behind that widespread popularity is worth understanding before you shop anywhere else on this list. In second place, it's the Lexus RX. This is Lexus's best-selling model specifically because it covers the widest range of buyer needs within a single platform, offering a mid-size two-row SUV with more interior space and more powertrain options than most direct competitors, all without the size commitment of a full three-row SUV like the TX further up this list. What most people don't realize is that covering model years 2018 through 2026, the RX carries an average reliability score of 85 out of 100, indicating an excellent reliability reputation overall, with the single best-performing model year in the brand's entire tracked history landing right here within this nameplate. The 2022 Lexus RX scored a 90 out of 100, officially making it the most reliable Lexus model in this entire database, with 0 recalls filed and just 35 total owner complaints logged against it. Common issues reported by RX owners more broadly do include problems with the electrical system, at 18.1 complaints per 10. 000 sold, a detail genuinely worth knowing if you're specifically shopping that particular used model year rather than a newer one. For 2026 specifically, the RX 450h Plus receives a brand new premium grade, along with an appearance package now available on both F-Sport handling and F-Sport performance trim grades. This combination of broad, everyday practicality, consistently strong reliability data, and genuine bestseller status across the entire lineup is exactly why the RX remains the default recommendation for most shoppers walking into a Lexus dealership without one single must-have feature already locked in. But now we've arrived at first place, and this particular pick will genuinely surprise anyone expecting the newest or most technologically advanced Lexus to naturally top this entire list. In first place, it's the Lexus IS 350. According to this year's JD Power Dependability Study, the single most reliable Lexus on the road right now is this particular sports sedan, and this exact generation of the IS has actually been around since 2014, making it a genuinely 12-year-old platform at this specific point in its production life cycle. What most people don't realize is that this longevity is precisely the point rather than a weakness worth apologizing for. Being a 12-year-old platform means most production hiccups have already been thoroughly worked out through more than a decade of real-world refinement, ongoing testing, and quiet engineering fixes that a brand new model simply hasn't had enough time to accumulate yet. For 2026, Lexus streamlined the entire IS lineup down to a single engine option, the proven and reliable 3.5-liter 2GR-FKS V6 producing 311 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque, discontinuing the previous turbocharged 4-cylinder IS 300 variant entirely from the lineup going forward. Spanning model years 2018 through 2026, as a broader nameplate, the IS maintains an average reliability score of 83 out of 100, indicating excellent reliability overall, with essentially no recalls and only minimal complaints logged specifically in this latest 2026 model year, and repair costs rated as excellent for keeping long-term maintenance expenses genuinely low across ownership. Here's the twist that makes this particular year's redesign genuinely compelling rather than just a reliability footnote buried in a spreadsheet. Despite keeping that proven mechanical foundation largely untouched under the hood, the 2026 IS gets the single biggest interior overhaul in its entire 12-year history, finally retiring the old, widely criticized touchpad-based remote touch interface in favor of two crisp 12.3-inch digital screens and a completely redesigned dashboard layout throughout the cabin. The exterior gets a widened spindle grille, new merged LED headlights, and an available bold radiant red color scheme, all layered on top of genuine chassis rigidity improvements specifically meant to sharpen handling further than previous model years managed. You're essentially getting a proven, 12-year refined mechanical platform wrapped inside a genuinely modern, thoroughly updated cabin and fresh exterior styling, which is exactly why this specific combination lands the IS 350 at the very top of this list for anyone shopping with long-term reliability, as the deciding factor, rather than simply chasing whatever nameplate happens to be newest this particular model year. So here's where everything comes together. 10 Lexus models, each earning its spot on this list for a genuinely different reason. the GX as living proof that rugged and dependable aren't mutually exclusive qualities, the ES as the quiet reliability favorite nobody talks about enough despite the data, the NX as the highest scoring SUV anywhere in the entire lineup, the RX as the best-selling, most genuinely versatile all-arounder Lexus currently builds, and finally the IS 350 topping this entire list on the strength of a 12-year-old platform paired thoughtfully with a genuinely modern redesign. The lesson threading through all 10 of these picks is ultimately the same one Lexus has built its entire brand identity around for decades. There's no single objectively best Lexus sitting at the top of some universal ranking, only the best fit for how you personally actually live, commute, and drive day to day. The smartest buyers browsing this lineup in 2026 are choosing based on real, documented reliability data rather than simply gravitating toward whichever model happened to get the flashiest ad campaign or the most glowing first impression review this particular year. Whether you specifically need family space for 8 passengers, genuine rugged off-road capability, city-friendly efficiency for a daily commute, or a proven platform that's had a full 12 years to quietly get everything right under the hood, this current lineup genuinely has a solid answer waiting for you, and now you know exactly which model earns its reputation honestly, and which one is simply coasting on the strength of the badge alone. If this helped you narrow down your next Lexus, hit subscribe, because next week we're comparing the Lexus RX against its closest rivals from Acura and Genesis to see which luxury SUV actually holds up best over time. You won't want to miss that comparison.